I took all my CDs and went through the beginnings of each of the songs and said, you know, what would be a cool open to a show? Like, even like if they wanted something more recognizable, the beginning to Eat the Rich from Aerosmith. Oh, shoot. I don't know. Forget it.
We got the CD, no?
Just wrap it around there.
And break the tape?
Yeah, the tape just breaks because we have very cheap splicing tape. Tom refuses to buy good stuff. Tom's the guy who came to me. It's really funny. I'm reading in the paper about Steve Allen. Steve Allen used to host The Tonight Show, and a lot of the shows that he put on are no longer in existence because they said back then, and those shows were a goldmine to have.
Yeah.
He said back then there was some guy who was one of the engineers, and he needed more tape. They were running out of tape, so he just erased all the old Tonight shows.
And taped over.
Yeah, he said some idiot, you know. And, you know, you think that, oh, man, were they stupid back in those days? Tom Cheapsano about 5 years ago came to me. I taped the shows that we do, and I keep them cataloged. Comes to me, he says, you know, we're running low on tapes, and we have to go out and buy these cassettes every day. Why don't we just record over some of your older shows that we don't use anymore? Do you remember this conversation?
I was right in the room.
And I said, Tom, are you... Let me ask you, you know I kid you on the air about being stupid. And I never really thought you were that stupid.
Tom, this is a joke, right?
Yeah, are you kidding me? I said, we do best of here. We pull hours and hours of material from these tapes. You hear me on the air every day. I certainly poll. How could you suggest that?
Plus, like, you know, if something weird happens, somebody that we had on the show is in the news, like when OJ was on.
Of course.
Or somebody, like when Abby Hoffman died, you pulled together a tribute.
Yeah, I mean, I understand in the short run, like maybe spending $3 a day for cassettes is a tremendous expense for the company. But, gee, you would think, I could understand if you were taping a music show or something. You might want to reuse some of the tapes. But this is a show that relies on its past history somewhat. And he just looked at me dumbfounded. He was like, well, okay. I bet Steve Allen's engineer was Tom's, like, uncle or something.
I think it runs in the family.
So I used to run out of here with boxes of my tapes because I was always afraid Tom was going to get a hold of them. And then I remember the best thing was, you know, Fred and Jackie write for the show, and Fred and Jackie write on pieces of paper. So Tom came to Jackie and said, Jackie, can't you write on the backs of these pieces of paper?
Can't you write smaller?
Well, I know he had a problem with the pens. Jackie was using too many pens at one time.
With Jackie and Fred use these black felt markers. So not only does he, which are easier to read, so we use those, but
they dry out.
But his point was, Tom was saying, you only write on the front side with these markers, but if you ever wrote something with these markers, you can see right through to the back of the paper. As you could see,
Sure, you'd bleed through.
Yeah, so it meant...
It'd be confusing.
It just would be...
You couldn't even read it.
Yeah, but Tom was in this whole thing about how we only use the front pages of paper, and it seems sort of trivial considering... You know, we had a #1 radio show.
You know.
And that was our business
well, you don't remember.
Remember that one time? Oh, here's Tom Cheapsano, everyone. Cheapest man in America.
He pens locked up, and Gary would have to go to him each time so Tom could keep track of how many pens will be used.
Day keeps Tom away.
No, you know what he used to do that was really funny because he's a lot better now? I would put in the pen order, and it would say 6 dozen of the thick ones and 6 dozen of the thin ones.
Right.
And then I would get my order, and it wouldn't be what I ordered, and then I would go back and look at the sheet, and Tom had put a slash through them and cut the order in half.
Yeah. Like that was going to help. Like somehow
we'd make those pens last longer.
Right. Yeah, right.
Jackie, which side of the paper?
Hey, Tom, look at this. Look, you can see right through it, Tom. Read what it says. It says I'm stupid.
You sure you want us to write on the backs, too?
Yeah.
I never asked about writing in the back of the paper.
I remember it. And don't tell me you never had that conversation with me about tape.
The conversation about tape was, if you have shows you know you're not going to pull from, then we can do it.
Yeah, we can predict the future.
How would we know?
We didn't know OJ was going to kill someone.
It was a bad idea.
It was an awful idea.
It was an awful idea that we never did anything on, right?
Would you have erased all the old Tonight shows?
Was every idea you ever had a good idea?
Would you have erased all the old Tonight shows?
That doesn't mean you stopped having ideas, right?
No, but that's an amazing idea for a general manager of a show that, you can tell that maybe we go back and we pull best of and we get...
I was not talking about not saving what you thought was good material. I was talking about...
Oh, isn't it all good material?
You mean there are days that... Could you tell which days you were going to use?
Whatever.
I mean, isn't it... Like, for example, let's say the day that OJ...
It was an idea whose time hadn't come. Okay?
All right, fair enough. Let's leave it alone. Obviously, Tom, very embarrassed.
I want Tom to list his good ideas so people get an idea.
Now, there's a good point.
Tom has good ideas.
Because we just pointed out two of your biggest blunders, would you like to list some of your accomplishments, some of the ideas you've had that we've actually instituted?
My best idea was not signing Jackie up a couple of years ago.
Right. Okay. No, really, what have been some of the innovations that you brought to radio? What?
Stereo?
No, come on. Tell us, please.
Quad? I managed a first station had quad sound.
That's right. Oh, you did? You brought in quad?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not really work. No, seriously, are there innovations?
I'm not going to go through it.
Nothing comes right to the top of your mind.
I mean, are there things that you've done as a general manager that you would like to brag about?
Would I try and verbalize them at the moment?
I'm saying, you know how I always sit and say, I'm responsible for this, I'm responsible for that. Well, I could think of something you've done that has been terrific. What about you brought Greaseman here, didn't you?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you bring that up?
Why didn't you list that in your accomplishments? So what you designed a bumper sticker that's rather bulky.
Beautiful.
Right.
Bulky.
That's rather
bumpers all over New York.
Cluttered bumper sticker.
The bumper sticker I've never seen on anyone's car because it is so ugly. Oh, tell them the time you invented...
Flo and Eddie?
That's right, you brought them. How about the half-day Friday? Tom instituted half-day Friday for himself so he could go play golf.
Oh, there you go. That was a good idea.
Right. And weren't you the one who changed the locks so Flo and Eddie couldn't get into the building?
That was my second idea after the idea.
No, I'm seriously, as a general manager, seriously, in all seriousness, I don't want people to think that you don't do anything.
All your ideas are bad.
Yeah. You even said you've had a few good ideas.
Right.
Would you mind telling us what they are? No, I know you have had good ideas.
Right.
What would those be?
I can't think of any at the moment.
All right. Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
Would you like some time to think about it? And get back to us in about 10 minutes?
In written form?
Yeah. I'm serious. I think we've disparaged the man.
It's important. We shouldn't leave that perception that you don't have good ideas in the minds of the audience.
Right. Tom had a great idea a couple of years ago. He moved his office closer to the guy he has to ask about everything so he can get there quicker. He can run back and forth and it almost look like he's thinking on his own. No, but there have been things.
You know how much money I've saved on shoe leather?
That's true.
That was a good idea.
You know, in all seriousness, Tom is one of the best general managers I ever worked for, and the thing, he doesn't even know his accomplishments. You are the best. Okay. He doesn't even realize his accomplishments. About a year ago, Tom came up with something I thought was great, in all seriousness.
I'm sure.
Tom was back in his office, and he's a golfer. And he couldn't practice his golf swing, so he took 2 cardboard tubes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he taped them together. And we caught him doing this. He was swinging the 2 cardboard tubes and practicing what they call, I guess, what is that, a putt? A putter?
Swing?
No, a full swing.
Yeah.
What is that called? Just the swing?
The swing.
You were practicing your swing.
And his grip.
And your grip.
Well, actually, it was bad for the grip because the tube was a little bit too big, but it was okay.
Actually, if I could assist Tom here, he's graduated now. I saw the other day he's got a club, and when you swing it, if it's not the proper swing, the club goes limp. It breaks.
Oh.
So if you have a proper swing, it stays...
Do you have that here now?
No.
Oh.
No, I brought it in to give it to somebody.
Bring it in.
Oh. Can you bring it in and demonstrate tomorrow?
If that person brings it back, absolutely.
What is it? Stuttering John wants to list one of your accomplishments.
The other day I went by Tom and I caught him juggling.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's right. I've seen him doing that, too.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, what's that all about? You've been working on your juggling?
Absolutely.
We have a new client that's going to be coming on soon, and it's you buy the kit and teach yourself to juggle.
Have you accomplished this?
Yes, absolutely.
He's good.
Can we
learned
see?
to juggle?
I don't have the perfectly weighted balls at the moment.
Your balls are pretty well perfectly weighted.
But he only has 2. He needs a third.
I see.
Don't ask me. I don't carry them.
All right. So, you don't have any balls? You can't do it with an orange or
perhaps
apples?
Perhaps.
You got anything over there, Fred, that he could juggle?
I don't have anything right here.
Gary, you have anything back in the...
I'm not going to juggle.
You're not really? You're embarrassed to do that?
Do you have potatoes in there?
I'm just trying to list your accomplishments here, and you're making it difficult.
Juggling and...
Juggling and getting back and forth.
And the creator of the Paper Tube Golf Club.
Okay. The creator. Oh, it's great. You know, if you ever have to leave here, if you get fired or anything, you can join Barnum and Bailey, because now you can juggle and swing a golf, swing paper tube.
When does he start working on his clown face?
That's a legitimate question. Would you ever consider going to clown college?
I did.
So, Tom, you have been working in radio for a lot of years, and I'm sure there are things you have done that are considered innovations in the industry. Isn't that right, Greaseman?
Yes, yeah.
And you thank Tom for being a part of your career?
Yes, would you take down your duff there so I can just kiss a big wet one on the rump? Yeah.
There you go. Well, there's a big fan of yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I see Tom trying to throw a piece of paper at my head.
No, not at you, no.
Oh, okay, very good.
Is it me, or did it just get uncomfortable in here?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Now, Tom, you're doing great.
Thanks.
And congratulations on all of your hard work. All right. And thank you. Thank you so much. We love you.
And we love you.
Tom wearing a vest. It wasn't that cold out. It was cold this morning.
But it's summertime.
And a happy birthday to Ron.
Thank you.
Tom came in and gave me my birthday kiss.
Will this be followed up with the birthday lunch?
Oh, absolutely.
Is that today?
No. He's bugging me about making a date.
Yeah. Can we videotape that? Please.
More uncomfortable than Letterman.
Yeah. What was I... so Gary asked me a good question. He says, hey, Wolf, who's going to be on Letterman with you? I said, somebody named Celeste Dion. Celine Dion. I go, I never heard of her. He goes, she's big.
Yeah, she's the Beauty and the Beast and a couple of other things.
Like, what song does she do?
Well, her big song that was just out is something called The Power of Love.
Right.
But she had one.
You know what it is? Whenever they had really good guest book for Monday's show, because I read it in the paper somewhere, like a week ago, and they must have all canceled. So that's when I think they quickly try to get me on.
She's from Canada. She had like 14 albums out, all in French, and she just started making albums in this country like 3 years ago, and they're all huge hits.
Is she a piece of ass?
She's sort of cute. I don't think you'll like her, though. She speaks with a French accent.
I hate the French.
Well, she's French-Canadian now.
Yeah, same difference.
Oh, you didn't tell the French-Canadian who was here a few weeks ago that.
Didn't have the nerve to say it to his face. He looked like he could beat me up.
I saw a picture of her in a magazine where she was wearing one of those wild outfits where it was just a bikini bottom and like mesh, and you could see her whole body. She got a great body, but...
She married some old guy who sort of discovered her or something.
What you got there, Ganji?
Who else you're going to be on with?
Yeah. Who's the other person?
David Hyde Pierce, the guy from Frasier. I guess, is that the brother or the father, Fred?
The brother. That's the brother.
The brother.
I never even watched that show.
The show's really big, too. I mean, it's top 5, I guess. But you're bigger than all of them.
Thank you.
Together.
So are your teeth.
Yeah, so what's that say?
Did anybody even ask you?
So I got my whole... anyway...